right, we're in here. Official Guitar Guy podcast. Let's go. We got two guitar guys in the house. What's up, guys? We have Ky from Catbamboo and Adam from Sawce. Sawce Adam.
Hey, yo. What's up?
Thank you both for coming on. Ky, I know we hit you up kind of last minute, but I appreciate you doing this.
Oh, no, dude. Thank you guys for having me. I actually had to switch a shift with a coworker real quick, but made it work.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll make this worth it for you. No, but I feel I have been enjoying doing podcasts with people from different bands, like just to get like different perspectives on stuff. And I know you're both of you guys work really hard on your music and your craft and promote. There's so many things we could talk about, but one thing I kind of wanted to start off the bat, Adam, we spoke at a show once. I think it was right before Invalids played with you guys at the Lanes, and I think it was before you went on tour. You were telling me about your work day and how you got home from work at like 6 or 7, and then it was like, yeah, then I try to make content for 2 or 3 hours, and then I like plan posts and stuff.
Yeah. So before COVID, like I used to work in the city, and like, you know, my degree's in like finance, so I do finance jobs, even though I hate like corporate culture and all that stuff, but you know, it pays the bills, right? So I can't be ungrateful about that. Totally. But at the time, I think when I talked to you, I was having like super long days. Like I would commute out of New Jersey at like 6 in the morning, a little bit before that, probably 6 in the morning. And then like I get to the city, like Brooklyn, at like 7:45, and then come home at like, if I'm lucky, like 6:30 or 7.
It's not a great commute. It's not a good commute.
Yeah. And I'm living with my parents at the time, and then like I'm basically doing all my guitar work, like my riffs and stuff, like videos and like any music stuff, in like a 3-hour period. So like, and then I do it again, and then it's like, that was kind of rough for a while. Luckily, even though COVID sucks for everything else, my day is now like all at home, so like I'm more well balanced now. But like before then, it was just like a clusterfuck of like epic proportions like every day. Yeah. So you know, now life is better. And I think for that show where we were at the Lane, I came from work. Like I came straight from the city, and then I was like, I think I arrived. I took like the from Penn Station, like the train that goes to Long Branch or Asbury, and then I came straight from there,
dude.
Yeah, dude.
And Ky, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like in a band that's like, both of your bands are like Sawce and Catbamboo are like very active. I feel like, and not to be all like trajectory is up and like too like analytic about it, but like you both have exciting things in the pipeline, right? There's a new Catbamboo album coming, right? The new single with Kurt was like really sick. We'll talk about that too. But you're both active, but I feel like it's gotten so much harder as a band now to like kind of break through to the point where it's like, all right, we could at least do this as a part-time job now. I don't know like how you feel about that.
It kind of depends. I've noticed that like people have like a lot of different stems of income when it comes to music. So sometimes people like are very comfortable not leaving their bedroom, and they can still make like, an okay amount of money. Conversely, there are people that like live and die on the road. Like, they don't really have an online presence, so they're not selling anything online. They're not doing that, but they have their trusty promoters and group of friends and family and fans who help them out along the way, who are very dedicated to their brand, so they can like they always have like that for a steady source of income. So it kind of depends.
Yeah, there's so many different avenues now. I think the one thing that's cool with COVID, obviously it's a terrible I'm not saying COVID's cool, but just
shit rocks, brother.
I'm having a blast. I think it did allow people to hit the reset button, as far as like you were saying, it is easy to get burned out on touring or even playing locally. If you're a band, Your Catbamboo's from Baton Rouge?
All four of us live in different states.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So that makes it even harder. So you can only play when you're touring or at least doing a string of dates.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that
So
makes
we haven't played in a year. Like, we haven't even practiced since, we haven't practiced since March last year.
Yeah. So how are you keeping busy with the music? Are you like all doing stuff remotely?
Yeah. We just kind of go into our interfaces, demo things up, then get it like really sorted, tabbed out, and then like, this is what we actually want to do. This is the final song. And we record it out and then, learn the songs, meet up, get all of our video content together. And like, we're going to do next week, actually, I'm going to Austin. We're going to do we're going to do like all of our album and like live videos and get some like content that we can post for a couple of months, and just kind of do it like that. Content's tough right now.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I spend too much time on one thing and then I post it and I'm like, what do I do now? I have to start over. It's forgot. I mean, in this age of like rapid fire shit all the time, it's so hard to like keep pumping stuff out.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was like for like you were talking about like touring too, Kai, and like, I mean, it kind of played for Sawce in our hands. Like, we barely toured to begin with because we all work full time, and so like how Joe said it was like the reset button. It literally was, because just like now we are kind of on like an equal playing field with almost every other band now because no one can tour. So it's like, it kind of played into, our hands, like, hey, we can like make some more shit than like we're used to, like because we work all the time. Now we're home all the time. And we did end up recording like an album. So like it's almost done, but like don't know when I don't know when it's going to come out, but like we recorded with Big Adam at
the boy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's awesome studio.
Yeah.
I missed Adam. And Bowser. I missed the dog too, Bowser.
Yeah, Bowser still kicking.
Yeah.
If you guys have accrued some vacation time, we should do like a Northeast run.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, is if I can carry over vacation next year, I'm totally down. Although like I'm trying to figure out like when we can all go together as a band, because that's where it gets tricky. I know when I could go. It's just with the other guys, it's like that's when it gets fucked. But
yeah,
let's hope. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's hard to balance everything. But if Catbamboo comes up north, we can at least help with some shows for sure. So
yeah.
that'd be super tight. Even to like slam a weekender or like whatever. Yeah. But it is interesting that like this was like the test of like, all right, who's actually making music for the sake of doing it, and like who can like still make things now with this like new playing field. I think, I'm very cynical and like, jaded. I'm too fucking old. So like, I'm sad the music industry took a hit. I am. I think there's a lot of nepotism with booking agents and like certain circles and music scenes. And it's something that always conflicted me, because it's like, you're going to work with people and that you like and will do a good job for you. But I feel like for other bands, it's so hard to break into those things sometimes. You have to really prove your worth and more. And you have to like prove like that you can give these promoters what you want, or like booking agents what they want from you. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you lose that like that metric, not to sound corporate, but like the metric of like draws and playing shows, especially like if that's the main, because of course that's the main source of income in the industry, is for a band at least, is the tour and merch and all that shit. And now it's shifted to streaming and still merch, but like you're not selling it proactively at shows and stuff. But it's like, yeah, for sure, it's like the industry is totally going to change, and it has changed pretty much from this. I mean, like even like geographic local scenes, like that's not gonna, like maybe there will be an uptick in shows, like this, but like I feel like the local scene is just now like the centralized like internet, like most people are doing like Discord stuff, and it's like that's what it is. It's like that's what's going to become. I think COVID like was the nail in the coffin for that, where it's like now we're all online. Now what? So everybody moved to the internet, and that's what it is. It's like I mean, I hoped like when it all ends, I'm sure it'll happen though. Like we have a ton of shows, and like some geographic scenes that may have been like dying from it now have like an uptick. Like North Jersey doesn't have like much like compared to Central and South, right? So it's like my hope is that like people start playing more shows in the north part of New Jersey, and that would be really sick. So hopefully that happens again. But yeah, the internet like is the warlord of like everything.
Yeah.
Now, so.
It's like its own zip code. Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with you. It's gonna be kind of like COVID's gonna be kind of like a forest fire. Like sucks for now, but like the new growth that's gonna come behind it's gonna be great. Like people are never gonna stop making music. People are never gonna stop feeling sad or feeling anxious and feeling angry or happy or whatever it is that makes them make music. And so less venues. I know it's gonna suck in the immediate time, but I definitely see like things coming back. Like, yeah, like maybe on the artist side of things, it might suck as far as getting paid. You might not get as high as guarantees because people are gonna be trying to feel things out coming back into the new normal. But I definitely like. I mean, I'm already starting to look forward to like booking shows now. Like, you know, we're not like setting anything in stone. Like, oh yeah, no matter what, we're booking this. But as things are looking better, like we're doing some like shows out Europe. We have some festivals, so we're trying to, you know, book around them in case the festivals are still going on and stuff. So
Yeah,
you never know. It's a risk, but
I mean, yeah, eventually you have to pull the trigger, right?
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be at least one person who's like, you shouldn't play any shows.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna wait till like there's like a hefty amount of people inoculated. I think because I was looking at the CDC guidelines they released either yesterday or the day before. They were saying that people who were vaccinated, sorry, my dog's having a mosh pit in bed right now. People who are inoculated can be in the same building together, no social distancing, no mask, and they should be okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that means like potentially, you know, shows to at least like, I know Texas and Mississippi. I live in Louisiana, by the way, so I'm right in between these two dumbass states that just like completely lifted their mask mandates and are open 100% now. But
that's nuts.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, I hope things come back more responsibly than that, and I imagine they would. So, you know, the UK was saying something about like everything should be fully reopened by like late June, I think. So we'll see. I'm not being super optimistic. I don't want to get my hopes up and have them shattered again, like the third time.
Yeah,
but
wild. I think you're right though that when shows do open, some people are gonna just be really excited off the bat. Like I could see it going where some people are skeptical, but the people that are there are like fucking there, like just so stoked about it.
There's gonna be making out with each other in the crowd.
Everyone, giant orgy,
just blowing on each other.
Consensually.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Consensually, of course. Yeah.
Kai, how are shows down by you in Baton Rouge?
So we don't have very many live like local venues. Actually, there's never more than 2 at a time, and then like one like medium-sized venue, and then all like the pop venues. But our house party scene is pretty dope. Like we did some I like throw house parties here all the time. We can get like 300 people at a house party. We throw keggers, like they're like very like mosh pitty, like crowd surfy, and everyone's real respectful too. So, you know, like we let all the neighbors know beforehand. They'll usually come out. It's LSU is a party college, and I live a mile from LSU. So it's like, you know, everyone's kind of ready for, you know, crazy shit to ensue over here. So Baton Rouge, it's funny because we don't really play here because we don't really have fans here. We have enough people here who know who we are to be like, yo, Catbamboo's playing. So we have like that, like, they're like, oh shit, that like exciting band's playing kind of like thing. So people come just to get drunk. Oh, that guy that buys everyone beer, that likes to jump around and like mosh the whole time, hell yeah, I'm coming to that. So it's one of those kind of things. Whereas they won't stream your music at all.
Oh yeah, that's how I live in a college. I live in New Brunswick, which is like where Rutgers is, and it's like basement shows. Like, and there's like a legacy and history here of bands coming up. But it's interesting because people will come to listen to music and have a good time and support it in some ways, but it's mostly to have a good time. Like you can play a 6 show and like not like everything's always gauged by online interactions, but it's like the next day it's like no one is saying anything about the show.
Yeah.
But you had a good time. Like, you know, it's about having fun. I get it.
That sounds so crazy to me. Basement shows, like I've never been to it. Well, I've been to the only basement shows I've been to have been in Japan. We played a couple in Japan. But like basement shows, like basements are still weird to me. Like it's still wet here. We're below sea level. Like we don't have basements here.
Yeah. Yeah. Florida too, I think. And I guess anything on the Gulf Coast for the most part don't have basements.
It just seems so crazy, like a basement show. Like
I mean, it's not, it's not glamorous. They're dingy and rat infested and there's a laundry machine. It's not like a sick, you know. It's
like what's this sound
like? A mom, it's pretty bad. But like I mean it's also
like
energy.
bounds.
Yeah. But sometimes you also have like someone's mom like cooking steak and like, you know, the kitchen, which actually has happened. The first basement show we ever played as a band was like I think it was in Union, like super. This is like when we first started, I think, as a band, and very tightly packed, and the staircase was like very tight to get through, and then like someone's mom was like cooking like a steak, and like you have to, you know, it's very punk rock, and like you have to go there. I mean, like it was okay in the show, but like it was just such a fucking funny phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like, what a vibe.
Just, parental advisory.
It's nice they're supportive, at least.
Yeah, right.
I played a show once, and it's actually like a kind of bigger emo band now, but I don't want to say their name and possibly embarrass them. But it was like someone's like, they were like really young at the time, and I even remember seeing them at that point. I'm like, oh, they're good. And there was like it was someone's birthday, and the mom made a cake with the drum set on it, and it was like the last show at their house, and they're all going away to college next year. It was like wholesome.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it was.
That's awesome.
New Brunswick's a different story. New Brunswick can be shady. We had a practice space in one of the old bands I played in. We had a practice space, and like people just broke in and stole our PA head. Like it's tough. Cops get called on a bit.
In New Brunswick all the time. It's like crazy.
Well, if you have people like smoking in front of, I miss this now. Talking about like the shitty things about shows, I'm still so far removed from shows that I miss it right now. But but you know, people smoking in front, and then like people would call the cops, or if music goes late. But one time cops came, because sometimes they give you tickets for like $200 for like noise ordinance and shit. But one time cops came down, and Vasudeva was playing, and this is maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. And the cops were like, "You guys are pretty good. When I was in college, we used to like go see Thursday in basements."
That's so
like in New Brunswick, and they're like, "We're not going to give you a ticket, but you got to stop." And we're like, "Okay." The cops were nice. All right.
New cops are cool here. Like cool. I don't want to say they're cool. They're just. I've never had issues with cops at house shows here. Like they'll definitely be like, "Hey, like we actually have never even had." Maybe like once or twice have cops tell us to like stop the show, but it's not until after they've come over like 3 or 4 times. They're like, okay, yeah, like, you guys can actually stop now.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's actually pretty forgiving of them to come back 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
It's like the room just like weed smoke hits them in the face and the door opens up. We're all just like, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's dope. Wait, weed's legal where you guys are, right?
Yeah.
Technically, yeah. Well, it's legal. It's like the way it's taxed actually goes to like law enforcement and the criminal justice. So like it's like, do I really, want to invest?
It's corporate. It's very corporate.
Yeah, exactly.
New Jersey is going to make some money off of it. I had a medical card. It expired and I didn't renew it because it was like $400 for an ounce sometimes, and like it was a lot of money. So there they're gonna let it. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know.
Technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you could smoke outside, maybe. Like, because in Denver, it's super. If you go to the Pacific Northwest or Denver, anywhere out there where it's like mostly like goofy white people, it's very like fucking carefree. Like, just treat it like a controlled substance, right? Where it's like keep it in a container. But here, like, I'm sure if you're at a bar and you smoke in the street, it might be okay. But I don't know. We got a lot of work to do. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's nowhere near legal down there, right?
No, not even close, bro. Like,
yeah.
Louisiana's just medicinal marijuana just became legal here, but like, Louisiana's just so different from the rest of the South. Like, I can't explain it. It's just like we just like we pretend like we care. We have all these like far right politics. People just don't give a shit. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, just want to be left alone, I guess.
I think it's like having New Orleans being just like such a big gay city. Like, people can't you can't deny, like, that's our best city. That's our number one city. It's our only city that people even know of. So like you can't deny people like any rights here. Like,
yeah. Hopefully we get back to the gig soon and smoking pot or doing whatever, having fun. So let's because both of your bands are like, you're both really good at like promoting and stuff, but how taxing is it on your sanity at times?
Oh God.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
It's like a second job.
To be honest, in the last year and a half, I kind of stopped.
Yeah,
I gave up the last like year and a half, 2 years. Yeah,
I don't do it much. Like, I mean, like, maybe like obviously, like, I'm gonna promote something, like, we're releasing something,
sure,
or
of
like
course.
we're releasing merch. The bare minimum now. So like Facebook, I've kind of like given up on. I hate being on Facebook completely. I think it fucking sucks. I mean, like, I just rather rot on Twitter, and that's kind of like where I'm at. But like I just make joke posts on like Facebook and be like, does Sawce the band still exist? And it's not even that good of a joke. I'm just like, is there anyone there? Here's my my Twitter farm type of post. I'm trying to get those likes. Just say that we exist.
Yeah. Good morning. Say it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah, exactly. But like on instant Twitter, I'm just kind of like just goofing around. But what's interesting is that on Twitter and probably half of Insta, people think Sawce is an individual personality more than a band, and that's where things are kind of like getting tricky.
Yeah.
And while Facebook, everybody knows that Sawce is a band, and then half of Insta knows like, oh yeah, Sawce is a band.
Yeah.
But like,
to some people,
like
Sawce is you, because it's hard because you want to inject your personality into a brand. I mean, I sound like a fucking corporate sellout right now, but like that's how people identify to it. That's why when Wendy's is like, oh, we're clapping back, like, and like talking about Taking Back Sunday, everyone loses their goddamn mind. And they're like,
silence brands.
Yeah.
But like, it's literally that though. Like I don't, like, I stopped caring about like, engage. I mean, like, I care about like getting my music out there, no question, but like, going for engagement. I don't want to like end up like, I don't want to like, break hearts here, but like, I don't want to be like an Insta guitarist or YouTube guitarist where it's just like, I'm making like, well, if you can recognize the song, you have to like this video, and it's like, I don't want to do that. And so like, I just rather, if I have something to post, it's just authentic self, and people will identify with whatever I have to say. If I'm being a goofy boy, and so,
you're being you, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, I still like posting riffs and shit. That's no question.
You should. That's what you do, man. Yeah. I'm sorry I called you both guitar guys at the beginning of the podcast. I'd like to apologize for that.
I'll let it fly.
I thought it was funny. But well, go on, Kai. Sorry.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way as Adam, especially with like the whole like Instagram guitar thing. Like, not only is that just way too much work that I just don't want to do, it's just also kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like one of those weird stereotypes that you like once you fall into it, like no matter how cool the person is themselves, they kind of just like you kind of get lost into it. It becomes this whole like personality thing, and it's just like I'm just here to make music.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I want recognition and all those things. Like, I actually purposely on my personal like social media, like purposefully post at the worst times for me to post, because I'm not like, I don't really care about people seeing my shit. Like, it's more like a diary of my like thoughts and ideas than it is like me trying to get famous. With the band, it's kind of different because it's like, yeah, we're all doing this. We kind of need some money. Like, you know, I'm just trying to get better on my own end. So like, I definitely respect that, Adam. Like, I see that same kind of like, that kind of viewpoint. Like, it's, you know,
Yeah, exactly. Like, and also
it's the
like,
internet, bro.
yeah, exactly. But that's also like I got away from Facebook and more towards like Twitter, because Twitter was more of like uh I guess, I don't know, leftist echo chamber for me. So like I just started like just chilling there, while Facebook, like there's too many like right wingers and centrists that like really like peeve me the wrong. Not to get like super political on the pod,
Yeah.
but like
It's
honestly,
toxic.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so bad, dude. Like I couldn't take it anymore. And then like based on like all the friends that I've added, that, well, I don't know 90% of them like in real life, they're all like, you know, like gear nerds, and like, you know, they like all this shit, and like here's a video of me playing in 11/17 time, and then people are like, that was 11/16, you did it all wrong. And it's like I had to get off. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, feed is fucked. I don't feel like going through deleting people. I'm just gonna delete the apps. I'm like, I couldn't take it anymore. Like, so I mean, like, yeah, maybe I'm, you know, in a bubble and like the other social media and still rotting my brain, but I'd rather just not be on Facebook anymore.
I don't blame you, brother.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, Twitter is fun. I mean, I'm on all of it for sure, but I agree with what you're saying, Kai. Like, I just post whenever, because who cares? Like, it's on your personal, you know. If I truly believe, and I don't know if I'm always right on this, but like, if you're making good stuff, it's gonna organically spread enough. Like, set yourself up to like kickstart anything, you know, like set yourself up for the most optimal outcome of whatever you're doing. But like, if it's good, it's fucking good. People like
Yeah.
will come to me sometimes like, why are we getting this, or why are we not on this? And I'm like, yo, if you're doing something good and people are like gravitating to it, like if it's good, it's good. Play the guitar, like work on what you do. You know, that's what comes first. It's not about fucking memes. Like, yeah, they're fun, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tricky.
Guitar is kind of a meme, honestly, like a meme of an instrument. Like,
That was a very meta thing to say, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So I need you to elaborate.
it's just, I don't know, man. Like all the time, like our music is getting more and more complicated, and it's way harder to play. And it's fun. It's like it's not just complicated. It's like it's good music. It's getting more complicated because it's more fleshed out. It's more thought out. But at the end of the day, like no matter like how much better for guitarists I feel like I am, I'm just kind of like, bro, I play guitar. Like I don't know what it is. It's just like at the end of the day, it's like I don't really play an instrument. Like I don't feel like some like I don't know. When I think of instrumentalists, I think of like these crazy fucking just insane like musicians. And I think of like what I do, like we practically just do like now, like thinking of our new records, practically just like pop music with like a prog twist. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of like math rock here and there, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it's kind of, I don't know.
Well,
It's weird. Guitar is like, when I see people play drums and I see people play piano and I see people play like classical instruments, you know, like concert instruments or I'm just like, holy shit. Now that I don't get that from guitar, like obvious, but it's like the average like level for like professional those other instruments, and then it is for guitar. It's kind of just like it kind of feels like I'm like, not that I'm saying like mumble rappers or anything don't have any skill, but it kind of feels like I'm like the mumble rapper of the musicians. You know what I mean? Like
I
it's like I can
disagree.
get away with a little bit more than what other people can who are instrumentalists. You know?
Well, yeah. Well, with bands, it's not always about the sickest chops or like the most technical. It's about like your writing and like your personality that you put into the music and like the way it connects with people, right?
Yeah.
That's what counts ultimately. Because like if people wanted the most technical like jack off stuff, they'd listen to like Dream Theater or whatever and be like, "Oh my god, the time signature." I've had people ask me after Invalid sets like, "How do you count all the?" Because it's like really mathy shit, and they'll be like, "How do you count all that stuff?" And it's like, I don't. What do you? I'm not. What I'm
At all.
Yeah, I'm playing. It's phrases. You break it up into phrases, not like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going 1, 6, 7. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of why I like me personally. Like I was, I don't really not. I don't know. Like when I started out with Sauce, like I labeled it as math rock because I just didn't know what to label it when I started out. Like this is whatever. I'll just put a genre on it. But like I never felt like super connected to like you know that genre, like being in the genre. Like I like the bands. I like some of the bands that are in the genre. That's fine. I play with those bands, but like I'm not doing anything like super technical or whatever. Like people think math rock is, but like math rock is more about like the energy and the personality to it. But I think it's becoming more, and same thing with prog music is like
Sterile.
it's sterile and technical. It's like overly technical. It's like people think that's what it has to be when like yeah, math rock it's technical, but like with Invalid, I hear like passionate energy through the music. Like I there's shit that I can bop my head to and I can identify with and like, just
Still
going
beats are
on.
kind of technical sometimes too, though.
Yeah. No, I'm saying they are super technical, but like it's catchy. I like it.
Yeah.
It's not like super like, over my head. But I think like people getting into like these genres are like looking at the wrong way where it's like I have to be technical to do this. Like I have to be overly technical to do. And that's not really the case. It's just like the technicality can come afterwards from the actual like, energy and messaging from the music. And you build from there. That's how I see it personally. But like if you disagree, that's fine. I don't know.
No,
It's
I
just kind
agree.
of
I
like
agree with that. Like structure comes first, and then you build upon like the foundation that you started. You know?
right.
Like you can't just go in like, all right, we're just gonna go 100%. Like that's what gets me about certain genres of metal that are just so balls to the wall. It's like, can you just stop blast beating for a second? Just give me like some room to breathe. Like I definitely know what you mean with that.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at it from like a technicality aspect. It almost just feels like if like we were like painting something right now, it feels like playing guitar. You just give you a crayon. Like I don't know. It's something about like just how like personal you can make a guitar. It's just different. And it just doesn't feel very like it feels very like untethered from the music world. Like I can't explain it to me.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, you could think it like I don't know. My old band teacher said this to me. Like, think of your instrument as like an extension of your body, right? So, like, if you just connect with it on like that level, then like what you channel through it, not to be like too like cerebral or whatever, but like, I think it's important. I think you got a right to serve the song and not to just be like, oh, 7, 6, 12, like, So I honestly, I mean, I love punk music. Like, I like a lot of math rock bands, but it's not like always what I want to listen to for the reasons that both of you kind of were just saying. Like, it's just it has to be accessible to people. For me, like it has to be accessible for me to like it.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and that's like, you know, that's why like for Sauce, like our new album, it's more like we just wrote music that like we personally enjoy like let's say video game music. Obviously, video game music can get really crazy, but like there's a structure and personality and very accessible sound to it.
Yeah.
And like that's what we were striving for. It's just like that's how it turned out. And like we were super proud of what we and like people have given us weird comments about like, you know, being, you know, an instrumental band. You have to like I want more shreds. I want more taps and technical stuff. It's like I barely like do that. I have one solo on the entire album that like I'm really proud of, but like that's it. Like I hate soloing in general.
I also hate soloing, which is so funny because we're instrumental bands. Like,
yeah,
There's some solos in Catbamboo though, at least on the EP. I was listening to both your guys' like discographies today. You do like shred at times.
we do, but it's always because like at first it kind of felt like we had to. Like, like kind of like Adam was saying, like people were just like, "Oh, I want this, I want that." It's like, fuck, man. Like starting off, you kind of want to like cater to your, like I at least wanted to like cater to our fan base and try to like, you know what I mean? Like give them what they want, keep them excited, keep them going. Now I'm more comfortable being like, hey, we're just gonna make music that works for us. On this record, there's a lot of solos. I'm actually looking at this list of all ours: 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 solos in our new record, and none of them are ours. Like we just straight up we're like, we're gonna write these songs, we're gonna get some homies to feature, and like we'll play some of the solos live or whatever, but we're not like they're short. They're like 10-second, like 15-second.
Sprinkle it in. Yeah.
Yeah, just here's a lick. Here's some cool riffs. Like,
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of solos anymore, which is I love listening to them, but I don't really like them in my song.
Oh, the biggest complaint I think I've gotten actually, because I mentioned that. So before we released the Creature Garden remix, mentioned the next song's gonna have vocals.
Banger, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. As is yours. I was gonna say it's so sick. Kurt is amazing vocalist.
Always delivers. Kurt. Yeah.
But Garden is a good friend of the band. He was actually a fan of us, like before I even knew like that he was. Like I had generally no clue. This all happened like in the last year. I just found out, and then we just like hit it off, and we're like, "Yo, let's make something together. Let me like remix one of the songs," and that's how it came out. But like when we were teasing it, some people were like, "Please don't like add vocals to any of your songs," and like, "Please don't like." One guy made a comment where it was like, "Oh yeah, I like listening to instrumental albums and maybe sometimes crap albums. Like, so anything with vocals is a crap album to you. That's a very
weird take.
A big hill to die on."
Yeah.
To say that.
The majority of music, I hate it.
Yeah. What?
Exactly. Oh. Yeah. And so I was just like, fuck this. And that's when I deleted Facebook.
There's going to be haters. There's always, there's someone who's always going to have a stupid opinion, always. Like,
of course.
Pay no mind.
Exactly.
I need to get on Twitter, apparently, bro.
Yo, Twitter is fun. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Twitter is fun. Yeah. Joe just, he always, he used to retweet like Ian Fidance videos, and then I just that's all
I use it to keep like follow all the comedians I like pretty much. So, it's weird because I'm in a couple bands and I do choke artists, so I have like 5 Twitter accounts. So I feel like I'm splitting my personality. No one in Angles does anything for online. No one does in Angles does anything online. They don't know how to. I don't
know.
Yeah, so it's like I'll tweet like once every like 2 months, like we're gonna record soon or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's stupid. I just want to make
sure. Yeah, exactly. And like I was gonna say that, like for future, and who knows how many fans will be mad. I don't really care. I mean, the goal is that we're gonna have a full album that's all like vocal features, and I'm doing stuff for that I've always wanted to do with vocalists for a different project.
Yeah.
What I wanted to interview you about.
Yeah. Talk about it. Talk how much of it is under wraps. Also, are you calling it Mostradamus, dude? Please don't.
We do, that's working title. Don't.
Working titles always end up. Catbamboo was a working title. You're Mostradamus now.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So.
Well,
Mr.
we should
Green,
tell the listeners. Yeah, Anthony Green, you're doing a collaboration of some sort with Anthony Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to all the doubters who said that wasn't going to happen, because I know there was a bunch, it's happening. But so it's funny. So the history is like we like started out as a band like 2017, released SAWCE Ky December of that year. Second practice as a band, we decided to take a few videos and then like promote them, and like we just one shot practicing completely raw, one take. We promoted that vid. Anthony saw the vid and he's like, "This is sick." I thought it was fake. Like I couldn't. It was on Facebook. I thought it was like a fake account, but it was like literally it was Anthony on the thing, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And like I met him at a show, and he's like, "Oh, you're the SAWCE guy." I was
That's
like,
nuts.
That's weird as hell. So fast forward to 2019, I go to a Sound of Animals Fighting show. I meet him there. I give him a demo CD that like, because we had discussed like, hey, I'm gonna give you demos for this. And he's like, yeah, give it to me. And like, he doesn't do anything with them. Fast forward to 2021, he's like, I'm done with a bunch of shit. I have more free time because I'm not poor. I DM him. He's like, I'm like, here's my number. Let's actually do the things like we wanted to do. And like the demos I sent you before, I have like better ideas for what we can do. Like, not even gonna do like Anthony Green SAWCE. Like, we don't want it to be like that at all. So like, we are going in like a very pop, like hyper pop kind of direction.
Hey, nice.
One of the songs is so fucking. It's like the best song like I've ever. I'm producing most of the stuff. Like 90% of the stuff is me producing it, and then I have a couple of friends helping. But like, it's like one of the, like my favorite things I've ever made, and like the vocal take he sent me was like real. Like I like couldn't believe like this shit. Like this is a pop star. This is an emo guy turned pop star. Like right now, I was like so hyped. I was like I couldn't believe this, dude. But yeah, we're working on it. I'm supposed to see him tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
nice.
yeah, we live pretty not too close, but like he lives in Pennsylvania.
Okay, it's doable.
Yeah, so he's not. Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah.
Bucks County. But like he's he's been really excited about this, and we both like talk about how like this was like a long time in the making, like 3 years in the making. But had we done it like any point sooner, I don't think it would have been as good as it is now. Like we both grew in different ways. Like I grew in a sense of like the type of music that I was getting into now is like what I'm the type of music he wants to do is what I'm making. Yeah. And it's like we're not going to do like, an emo revivalist shit or like anything like that. It's just like we're going to do something different that we haven't done before. And like he's been sending it to like a lot of people, and like they're all into it. His wife is into it, which is good. So,
that's a good sign.
Yeah. So like there's a lot of cool shit that's gonna happen with it. There's nothing confirmed with a lot of it, but we're trying to get like pretty big features for a couple of the songs. And like,
oh, dude, just hit my people up, man. Okay.
I might. But like we're trying to get like new blood and like, old blood, like that Anthony knows, not like old that they're like, oh, they're grandpa.
No, but the like, older the generation that inspired us, right? Like,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot happening with it. I'm so like stoked about, like, it's just like the chemistry is so there. it's something that I've missed for a long time. Not saying like I don't have any chemistry with the SAWCE guys whatsoever. It's just we haven't practiced together in a year. Like we filmed one video together and was in the studio at separate points. And it's like now I'm making music on a 50-50 tandem, and it's like to the moon. So like I'm so stoked that I'm making like different music than what I'm accustomed to, but like in a good very non-formulaic way, and like just putting heart and soul into it, just living off of like the momentum that we have. It's just like kind of keeping me going. So like I can't wait to like release the first song for it, hopefully very soon. I'm hoping in April, late April.
Oh, sick.
Maybe.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. I'm glad it's
that's
soon.
the goal.
It's funny because I did want to ask both of you where you're pushing your music, like what direction. And with SAWCE, I mean, it's definitely more in the hyper pop video game type of direction. Even like the single, the newest single, that you had drip do the art for, right?
Yeah, Drip is great.
She rocks. But it gave me like Sonic 2 vibes, and then the ending gave me like Paper Mario vibes. Like,
yeah, that was all Cubby, and he's dope too. I love that guy. But that was cool because like we were on the same vinyl label with Circuit Board Records, and
yeah. Wait,
we just connected through that.
Oh, they did that. That was a collaboration, right? Like the yeah. That's tight. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a blast doing that.
Yeah. So, and I know that you will often like try to write to the song. Like I've seen you tweet about it, like what like the stuff you wrote for 100 gecs or whatever. You write to serve this song usually, and those are people you met through Twitter too, right? And like being a fan and doing covers.
Yeah, I did a cover of it. Now I'm known as 100 gecs and Blade Guitar Guy.
Yeah,
for some people, which is fine. Whatever.
Yeah,
I'll take it. But yeah, I did a cover of Hand Crush, and Laura and Dylan were like super hyped about it. Like they were like, no one did a guitar cover of a Gex song like that before. And I had just come back from like tour and recording 2 singles for SAWCE. And I was kind of like feeling like unfulfilled about, some things musically where it's like I'm kind of stuck. So I started covering like those types of songs, and like I enjoy it. I love the music, and it just kind of went from there. I mean, like I ended up doing that, and now like I'm doing a lot of guitar work. So that's another thing. Like I have a ton of guitar work and loop work for like those kinds of artists in that field. It's nice. I like doing it. Like it's 8 to 16 bars, and it's like
loop.
I get to do whatever the fuck I want. That's like it's like the best part ever. So
that rules.
I'm super grateful about like all of that. Definitely a life-changing experience for that. I think it was like one of the most surprising and cool things that like I could have ever been a part of. And like
it's cool how you fell into it. But I mean you made those windows open by putting all the content out, and for putting yourself out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stoked to hear the new SAWCE stuff. Kai, how about the new Catbamboo stuff?
I want to first say that like actually Adam is who introduced me to 100 gecs. So thank you for that one. Like, and I should also just go ahead and say that like, when it comes down to like making content and like learning the game, like I was so far away from the game. Like I like discovered math rock, like maybe like 5 or 6 months before like I started Catbamboo. Like I was already making this like weird music and I didn't know what it was. And it's kind of like what was in my head. So like I definitely like had SAWCE as like an example of like, because we kind of took off 2017. We both had, I think we put our first thing out like November 2017. So like a month before you know what I mean? So it was like it was really close in time. I was like, how do I do this? How do I keep this up? So getting on that. New Catbamboo though, our stuff is leaning, man, I don't know. We have practically like a whole new band. Like Brandon is still Brandon plays half the drums on the record, and you have Joel Chakot plays the other half of the drums on the record. And they are both amazing drummers with very, very different styles, different backgrounds. So it really like half the record is kind of like sophistopop. Like it's kind of like straight 4/4, and we're just trying to like really, really like get to the grooves and like the fun stuff. And then the other half of it is kind of us like try to push it a little bit, like get that kind of like math rocky, prog rocky feel, a couple different time signature tempo switches, but they're done tastefully. Like one's a kind of like a flamenco-y metal vibe. We have like David Levy from Unprocessed is playing bass on that song. We got Charlie Robbins playing solo on there. So that one's really fun. It's definitely different. It's the reason we decided to make it our debut album, aside from the fact that it was enough songs to be one, is because it feels like it's like the biggest glow up we've had so far. Like we really kind of pushed ourselves to a different era. On top of a lot of features on it, the people that I've met through touring and online, and like it's kind of funny. Like you were talking about how you met Anthony Green. Is kind of similar to how I met Kurt. Is just well, it wasn't so much online for us, but one of our friends online met Kurt. Is one of his tour managers, and he told us he played our music with Kurt. Kurt's like, "Oh, I like this." Well, we ended up one day playing with Kurt and Bakari, someone else, and Kurt. Kurt just met. Was like, "Oh, you're the guy from Catbamboo." We drank a little bit. It took 2 years for us to put that song together. Like we were like, "Yeah, let's do this." And then it's like, things happen. You have to like plan it. So we're happy we got to do that. So
it's sick. I feel like it. As someone who wished that like Eternity Forever still kept going, like hearing him sing on like an instrumental like with like a similar vibe was like very, very cool to hear. So I'm glad that like collab happened. And Kurt's such a fucking nice guy.
Dude, he really is, man.
Genuine, just genuine, nice. Wants to do the best and like the most for everyone. Like really cool.
He does. I was on the phone with him earlier today. I love that guy so much. We got to put this music video out. Like we've been waiting on this PR agency because we did everything late because I suck at this. Our management is so much better at this like band thing than I am. But like sometimes I just want to be an artist. And so I'm just like, and then other times I'm like, I can't do that. Like I have to.
Whatever works for you. Right. Like there's no right or wrong answer. It's like whatever works best for you,
Yeah. But, there's a lot of people in the band and like we finally have like a full band that we're like everyone's dedicated to doing like the live thing and in the studio. Like everyone's fully dedicated to the band. A lot of times we always do that sometimes temporary. Like, yeah, you're not gonna help you out to this point, So we finally got everything locked down now, so it's different. Like it's kind of weird because it feels like we're starting from the beginning, even though we're 4 years deep now.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a following at least, so hopefully when shows come around, like you'll have good turnouts and play some good gigs and all that,
But hey, that also kind of like pairs in with what I mean about like the new record. We are starting off new. Colin Smith, that guy, you need to watch out for that guy. Yeah, he's honestly the best guitar player I've seen like in person, and that's saying a lot. Like I don't even mean that to like pump up his head. Like that guy is like scary good. And no one knows who he is. It's crazy because he like doesn't like to post online, and you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
like you were saying earlier. Like if you're really good, you really put the work in. Like you don't like it's gonna pop up eventually. And I think that Colin's work is gonna shine through enough, through my own work and through the work of Francisco and everyone else in the band, to where he's gonna like get himself somewhere, even if it's not here. I hope it's here. But
yeah, cool, man. Adam, you're still just DIY. Just it's all you, right?
Yeah. For Sawce, it's pretty much I do all the management shit. So I'm reaching a point where it's like I kind of don't want to do it too much longer because like I'm fucking killing myself over it sometimes. But like now I'm kind of like just laying low with it for a little bit while we're waiting like mixes to come back. Yeah, but like we do a lot of like DIY stuff. I mean, like I mostly do all like the merch and online presence and whatnot, and like my bandmates are trying to get like better at the whole online thing. And like I understand like it's not their cup of tea, but they do their best, and I can't blame them for that. They're always busy, so that's fine. But like for me and Anthony's project, I mean, that will definitely have like
That'll
other
get picked
people
up.
involved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that I'm kind of like, I'm a little scared about it because like the material's really good and like I don't want to like botch it. And Anthony's like, this is 50-50, like that's what it's supposed to be, and like I don't want like us to get screwed about, and like I appreciate that, and like that's my hope. I don't want to get screwed out of like anything, and like because it has like a lot of potential, and if it gets into someone's hands, I don't want it to be like totally messed with, and like because like
that's always stupid when labels take creative control. I never understood that. It's like, why would you change something that you liked in the first place as it was?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's like it's weird. It's like living like a double life musically. Like I'm not too much like exposed to that world yet, but now I'm getting a glimpse, and it's whack. Like it's like such a weird world, and like I've had my my dealings with like labels and stuff, like getting paid for like feature work and whatnot, but like this is a whole different like ball game of like just actually being the artist in it, like being in the thick of it. It's gonna be so weird, and like I'm not ready for it whatsoever. I'm just from a simple instrumental band that was making decent music. So, like it's such a change of pace. But like I welcome it. I can't wait to like match both.
I hope you dye your hair blonde and like start wearing tracksuits and shit.
Oh,
like Ray-Bans.
Well, Anthony dyed his hair blonde, so maybe I'll be copying him.
Oh, never mind. You can't go blonde. No, there's some good in it, man. Like the output is bigger. It's a bigger machine, so they can put more on the more people. Like it's not all bad, No,
of course. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, labels bad. Well, like, there's
that's
some,
me.
like,
that's my take. But yeah,
well, I mean, like, of course, like there's some shitty things about labels that that need work. I totally agree with that, and that's where I think labels bad. I obviously think like labels can help you and they can do whatever, but like for the most part, it's like I enjoy doing independent management of my band. I like having us being in complete creative control over everything, and like and I trust like my team. My team is my band. It's Adam, at Timber, and then like a few artist friends that help out with like additional production stuff like that. And it's like expanding that team, I get like hesitant. It's just like I don't want to break a good process that we have, and I'm not gonna like do an ocular pat down of like the person like before like like doing that, but like I enjoy like what I have, and like the only constant is change. So maybe I do have to be like more open about like my circle and like stuff like that. So it's about like adjusting to those scenarios and seeing where it takes us.
I'm sure Anthony Green will like know the right people to work with too.
Of course,
so, it'll work out, dude. How did you like working with Eric from Circuit Board?
Oh, he's great. Eric is like one of the nicest people like ever. He was like I think he messaged us and was like, "Can I please like press vinyl for you?"
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah, like of course. And like I saw his vinyl. He did save us from the Archon
thereafter. So sick.
Yeah, and Cubby, and so I was like, yeah, this is pretty dope. So I'm gonna hit this guy up, and like he was the nicest guy, kept us in the loop. we agreed to like 50-50 split on the vinyl.
Yeah.
He gave us pressings, which was really nice.
He gave you what? Sorry.
Like the test pressings.
Oh,
for,
sick.
like,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And I actually met him in person when I went to NAMM last year, and like we had a really fun night together, and like we hung out and like shot the shit, went bowling. Sick, it's fucking sick dude. I love that guy.
Did you go to All Star Lanes?
Where did I went to the one. Is that the one Disney? Went to that one in Anaheim. That's where I went to.
Yeah.
But like, cause like I didn't know the area. I was there for like 3 days, and I was like, what do I do in this town? But yeah, he's a really good.
He's
dude.
cool. From the times I've spoken to him, he's just like always super nice. He plays in a ska band too, so we're like, oh, our ska bands have to do a release together at some point. But like, he's cool, man. And the vinyl he puts out is all. Didn't he spray paint the jackets for the SAWCE LP?
Yeah, he did. So no, he did for the pressing, and he did a giveaway. It was really cool. He did like a donation giveaway. Like at one point, I think he did for test pressings and maybe for standard vinyl, where like you donate to this certain org, it would be like a random draw, like give $10, and he did that. It was really cool. It was a very good cause I did for. I think it was for like anti-police violence, like community awareness, stuff like that.
Word.
Yeah, it was really cool. And yeah, he's a really cool guy. And also, I have to ask you, is Scott making a comeback now with like, Sawce Network and also 100 Gex doing ska? Like,
yo, it's real. I don't know. We put Kai. Full disclosure, I play in like 2 ska bands. But
okay.
Since like we should have broke up like 8 years ago, and we never did. So we've just been. And ska's like making another comeback, sort of, and a lot of it is from Jer of Ska 2 Network. Definitely like built a platform, and our band played in their backyard like 10 years ago. So like when they were in high school, we played in Jer's backyard, and like so they really liked our band, and they still do. So they like put us on to a lot of people. I think people want to have fun at shows again and just have fun. And we were kind of talking about it before. A lot of music's kind of got like a little pretentious at times. Like, or you go to a show and everyone's like this, and like ska's like fucking dance music, and ska mixed with punk, it's just a ball of energy. So, we were on that Ska Against Racism comp with like all of the fucking OGs from the 90s and early 2000s that like we looked up to, and we just put a record out with a ska punk label in California, and it like I think we sold like 500 or something out of like 600.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I wasn't expecting it. It's cool. It's really like it's sick to see. But it's always going to be like a niche type. It's not going to be where it's like the Boss Tones are playing in Clueless again, or like there's ska in a McDonald's commercial, and it shouldn't be there because that's how it got corny. It got commercialized, and then it became like kind of nerdy and like so.
Yeah, well, New Jersey has the biggest ska band on the planet, Streetlight.
Yeah, baby.
That's a band I've heard a lot of here.
Yeah, it's Nate. Nate is our drummer. Nate is a huge Streetlight fan.
Really?
He's ginormous Streetlight. You should talk to him about it. Cause, like,
dude, does he know? Does he know that Mia and my supervisor played in Streetlight? Does he know that?
I haven't talked to him about that.
Maybe yeah, I'll talk to him. Yeah, my supervisor. I'm a teacher, and my supervisor played trumpet for them. He played in Catch 22
really?
in Streetlight. Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, I got to get him on the pod. Go on. Sorry.
Me and Dom did a podcast like early in Sawce days, and like, it was just like very random podcast that like it was small, and we were in this basement, and there was this guy who like looked a little older than like the people living there, and he's like, oh, he was in a Streetlight in Catch 22, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I forgot his name. I can't remember his name at all. But like, if like Nate was there, I'm sure he would have known.
Wait, was it Jamie? Was it Jamie? I mean, if you forgot. But where was this?
I don't know. This was, I can't remember. This is like some New Jersey, obviously, but like, yeah. He had like gray hair, gray beard, and like.
I think that's my boss. Yeah.
Oh really? Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, we'll talk more about this off the pod, I guess.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. Yeah, hell yeah. Yo, I have one more question because again, I think what both your bands are doing are cool and like pushing boundaries and like on the cutting edge of like instrumental performance and like crushing it live, which is an important aspect. What I've seen the Cat Bamboo videos, like the live performances are like so fucking tight and good. But where do you see like rock music going in the next 10 years? Adam, I know you're going to say like computer sounds, but just, what do you guys
Bebop.
what do you guys think?
Low-key computer sounds, but like with kind of like a lot, I'm looking at like a hip hop like influence, like R&B kind of like, I feel like that's gonna like come back. It's getting to that we're getting to that 20 year mark, 30-year mark of like the best time of that. So I feel like that's gonna kind of mix in with rock a little bit more, because rock is kind of right now, you know, you have like metal's cool, you know, like the subcategories of rock are doing pretty well, but like rock at large is kind of people don't think, oh yeah, rock, you know. So I feel like the only way to kind of get that in, you're already kind of seeing it now with like how pop music mixes like guitars in with stuff, and then trap and pop. There's like pop trap, which is kind of weird, and there's like this pop hip hop kind of area. So it's already kind of blending. And if you look at like, I kind of hate going into this rabbit hole with people because they're just like, what? But like, I almost look at like Gent and like some of your like really just like heavy trap, like gutter shit. Like it's almost like the same music, bro. Like,
okay,
it's like really bass heavy snare, this hi hat, like just madness. Like,
yeah, I like a low end, like a groove in the low end that's like kind of booming throughout.
Yeah. And just, I don't know. I find a lot of parallels even with their like subcultures. Like, you know, like, I don't know. There's a lot of parallels, like dark imagery, you know. So I kind of feel like with rock at large, I think it's going to kind of like blend in more with like what's cool now. I kind of look at like rap and rock like jazz and classical.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, all contemporary music kind of stems from the blues, but you could say that like rap would be like kind of more from jazz, and rock would kind of come more metal, more comparable to classical. I mean, you're just running scales, right, in different directions. So yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say like yeah, I could say the easy cop out answer is computer noises, but like I mean, like how like Adam Levine made the comment of like there's no more bands, which is like on the surface a stupid fucking comment, but I actually understand what he was trying to say is that the individual personality is now like the forefront of music, whereas like bands still exist, but like people who are like individuals, let's say, are kind of like getting further in the game, no matter the genre. I mean, like you look at Machine Gun Kelly, like he's a rapper first, but he became a punk rock artist, and he's just the individual sole proprietor of like his music. Obviously, he has a bunch of songwriters, and he has Travis Barker playing with him.
But it's like, a big cosign.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's the forefront focus of the project. Yeah. And like I totally get that. And like there's a bunch of emo rappers who are like doing that, where they have like that band kind of sound. Like Nothing Nowhere is kind of like that, where like it's just him and a few producers, and he has like his backing band as the personality. So like I think like rock music can make a comeback in the sense of like meshing with those genres and like whatever, but I don't know if a band will do it. I could see like kind of like a Nothing Nowhere bringing it back. Machine Gun Kelly is kind of doing with punk rock, and maybe it's not like my cup of tea. I'm not the biggest fan of him or anything, but like if it influences to like play rock, you know, then it's obviously a fine line where it's like I don't want them to play like like that.
But they should people should be inspired to pick up guitars, because when I was a kid, it's like what you did was start a band, because Blink-182 and Green Day were the biggest bands, and they were awesome and fun. So like I think rock kind of became less fun over time. But
Right.
what I like about instrumental is that you could fucking hang and jam out to it. And like, sometimes it's good that you're not there like singing about your feelings, and you could just kind of vibe, and like people can interpret it how they want,
Yeah. It's interesting how like we don't have like, I think like jam band culture is kind of like losing its edge too. I mean, like it has its group of, fish heads and deadheads that will always be there. And surely it will be passed down to like their children's children. They'll all smoke weed together with grandpa. But like, I don't know, like I kind of just see like instrumental music is now like kind of like trending upward with a bunch of like the bands. Obviously, like you have Polyphia Chan, Covet, and whatnot, and like they're doing cool things and like innovative things and stuff like that. And like it's not jam music, but like there's infinite possibilities of where you can take like the sounds because there's no limit to it. Like
I think open tuning, capo, emo, twinkle music is jam band for millennials.
I agree with that.
We're gonna go to restaurants in 20 years, and like some guy's gonna be playing "Never Meant" by American Football, like lounge version. But sorry, not to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say like I agree with you with that comment though. That's like super true. but like there's no like improv with that or anything. But like there's the infinite possibilities of the actual written music that you can go with it because like you're not structured to a certain genre. I mean, like look at Polyphia. I mean, it took them a long time to get where they are now. They used to be like a metal shred band, but then they started experimenting with like hip hops and all that shit and rap trap beats and like mimicking syllabolic like rapper notes to the guitar and like all this shit. And, like people will still hate them, but like that's like a genius thing to come up with. Like it's like those possibilities in instrumental music, like there's hope for it to grow, obviously. So like, like
they pulled a whole Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah. Bring Me the Horizon is a sick example too of, well, not instrumental, but like
I actually love every album. Like
they're really cool. I love those guys.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to keep breaking the mold and pushing boundaries for sure. That's first time I saw Polyphia, they sounded like the Power Rangers theme song with the guitar solo over it. But that was like 6 or 7 years ago, and now like the new shit, it's fucking dirty, like really cool. So, I'm stoked on both of your guys' albums. I'm stoked to see what happens with Sawce and Catbamboo this year, and like to hear all that shit because I think it's going to be pretty sick stuff. So,
yeah, and I'm pretty stoked for both of you guys who keep killing it as always. I'm very stoked that like even with the pandemic, like it hasn't brought us down completely. We're still standing and still doing shit. So that's the good part.
We got it. What else would we do?
Right. It's our support system.
Yeah, for sure. Well, dudes, thanks for both coming on the pod. This is awesome. Like to hang and like, talk shop about everything. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Joe.
Of course, we'll fucking do it again at some point for sure. All right, if you're listening, thanks. Subscribe or don't. I don't care. All right, later.